So we'll get started.
For all three of you, no matter what happens this weekend, this is at home. What are the reflections and emotions you have about your final games here?
Oof. I'm trying to think about that. But no, I think it's special that we get to host here again. The magnitude of it is huge, obviously playing in front of our fans, and then for us, most of us, it being our last time, I think it'll make it just that much more special. We're going to play the same way we always do, but I think a little extra oomph going into this game just because, for me and Bex, it's going to be our last time on that floor.
Yeah, I just agree with that. Very emotional, but excited that our fans can be a part of this, so just excited to get out there. Hopefully. We're still working on that. Right now we're not. It's uncertain.
Yeah, like they said, I think it's very exciting, also very emotional. We have a lot of 50 years, so I think it's a very special moment for us to be hosting and our last two games here.
Question for all three of you. It's been now a couple weeks since you were in Minneapolis playing Maryland. Can you just describe finally being able to play again after such a tough defeat and just having to wait this long to get to this point?
Yeah, we had a great week of practice. Probably one of the most competitive weeks we've had this year. So I think just coming back from that, learning from that game, and then just focusing, putting our focus now on Maine and how they play and their style of play and preparing for them. I think it was a good week and a half for us, and we're finally excited to play.
Yeah, I agree with that. Last week was very tough, but like basketball, you lose games, so we watched, moved on, and now we're focused on winning day by day.
Yeah, I think we learned from our mistakes and just trying to focus on the next game now.
I guess this is more for Jason and Rebecca. Now, you guys saw how fast it can end and how easily you guys can be knocked out of the tournament. Did that feeling kind of hit you, knowing that now this tournament is going to be, when the next time you lose is your final game?
You might think different than me. I don't think about that. That's not something that I let enter my mind. Obviously, if that happens, then I'll think about it. But my mind's completely on the next game and how we're going to win it. So.
No, I agree with you. I think we're just trying to be locked in for the next game and just trying to focus what is in front of us and just take it day by day, practice by practice.
Quick question. Cody and Celeste were talking about Emmy's impact on the team. And just, JC, for you, what has it been like seeing your sister have such a big impact on all your teammates, and for Ricky and Rebecca, what impact has she had for you guys?
Oh, gosh. It was actually cool watching that interview, just hearing all the things that they had to say about her and how she impacted them. It's really special because obviously she has a huge impact on my life. But when you see people like them and these two talk about her and the impact she's made on them as well, it's pretty special.
Yeah, for me it's different. Ask Emmy, we're best friends forever. So that should tell you everything. That's my dog. I love her to death, and she's amazing.
Yeah, Emmy is very important part of our team. Well, actually, I will never forget, for my birthday, she was singing Happy Birthday song, and she gave me this card with princesses. So yeah, she's my bestie too.
For all of you, making a deep tournament run last year, what were kind of the lessons you were able to take away from that experience, getting so far into the tournament, and kind of what are you hoping to take from that into this year?
Yeah, I would say just being grateful, I guess. Last year we had a lot of injuries, and JC was able to come back, but she still wasn't her full self. So I think this year going into it, just excitement that we have a healthy team right now, and can't wait to see what we can do and how far we can go. I need some wood. Sorry, I'm superstitious.
No, I agree with Ricky. I think, like she said, just not taking anything for granted and being thankful that we got a healthy team and we're ready to compete.
Yeah, for me the same. I think last year during the tournament time, I wasn't my best self. So this year, hopefully, like Ricky said, we're gonna be healthy.
And I thought one for you too.
Okay, good.
JC, for you, you're 8 points from the 2,000 point mark. I don't know if you even know that. Just what's it been like see yourself grow offensively in these 5 years here?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I don't want to sound that doesn't matter. All that matters now is winning this game, and I think in March, it's so important that it doesn't matter how you win. I think finding ways to win, and we've done it in the past, but I think it's hard. It's hard to win in March for any team, and I think that's where all of our focus is right now.
JC, just what's it been like to see her growth year after year?
That's been great. That's my best friend, my sister. So it's been great. I mean, if she can score on me, she can score on anybody in the country. So, and she has a tough time doing that. So she's been great though. She's a fantastic player. I love her. Just had to throw that in.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Paul, before about the last week being tough in practice, was it just an elevated level of play? Was coach on a different level where the coaches just pushing you folks harder than
all of the above? It was physically tough, mentally tough, emotionally tough, but it did make us stronger. The team came together well. And I don't want to say it was us against the coaches, but the coaches was pushing us hard, so we had each other to lean on. And that last week set the tone for what's to come.
has it gotten back to normal now?
Practice, yes, but the coach's intensity, no.
Anything else? All right, guys, thank you so much.
problem.
Appreciate it. Good luck.
Whoops.
Yeah. All right, it's 11:05, so we'll get started here. Coach McGuff, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, Ohio State hosting NCAA first and second round games for the second year in a row. Big Ten regular season champions, and we will go straight to questions for Coach McGuff.
Kevin, I wanted to ask first, when Ricky was up here, she implied that she's considering coming back for another season, or at least that's something that's in discussion. Do you know what kind of the situation is with that?
Yeah, I mean, like with everybody, we usually wait to the end of the year and have discussions, and just to make sure, like, they have a little time to decompress and, kind of reflect on the season and kind of see where everyone's at.
And as you head into this first-round matchup, what have you kind of seen from Maine as you've started to prepare for this?
Really well-coached team. Very disciplined. They execute well in the half court. They have a kind of in my eyes, a clear identity of a great point guard, a great post player, and then a lot of people play well around them. And so it seems like they have good chemistry. They share the ball well, and so I think we'll have to really be on point against a really good team, and they're used to winning.
Thanks for the time, Coach. I was asking the players about the intensity of practice last week because they mentioned how intense it was, and they laughed when I asked about how intense, and they mentioned that it was it felt like the players against the coaches with how much, they were being pushed. Can you kind of talk more about that, and how do you see that, as a benefit to them having those type of sessions?
Yeah, I think, we're so dreadful versus Maryland that I just wanted to remind them that this is kind of who we are and what makes us good, and just the intensity, the focus, the passion that we play with, and they responded. They did. They know that the things that make us good, but just wanted to make sure that when we have a chance to play another game, which will be tomorrow, that we're focused and we're ready to go.
And you talk about the post presence. They have a forward who's like 5'10", but she's averaging over 10 rebounds a game because she's finding good positions. What have you kind of been working on rebounding-wise to slow down those positions, or looking at Iowa and Maryland and how well?
Yeah, she's very active. Like she's not particularly getting rebounds because of her height, but she's her energy or her activity. So you better hit her, you better be physical, and you better pursue the ball.
Kevin, when Ricky was up here, she was talking about the health of the team and literally had to step off to go knock on wood because she didn't want to jinx anything. Yeah. Any superstitions you have whenever you're getting ready to coach?
Not really. I don't. I just, I think our team, they kind of like to follow the routines that we have. And so I just kind of make sure we stick to that. I think it puts everybody at ease. And so that's really what I'm more focused on.
And when you look at last year's run, it was the first deep run. You've been at that stage before, but for the players, it was the first time a lot of them had been to that point. What were the lessons you felt the team kind of took away from that they're wanting to apply to this year?
Yeah, just that, you got to, you have to focus one game at a time, one practice at a time this time of year, and just make sure you're putting all your energy into the game in front of you. Because there's always storylines beyond that people want to talk about or can distract you, but we were really focused last year, and our kids they focused game by game and practice by practice, and didn't let anything distract us. And I would say that's probably the biggest takeaway. If you allow distractions to creep in, then you probably won't be as successful as you possibly can be.
Coach, obviously coming off a tough loss, how important is it to get off to a good start and, obviously playing at home in the first round? How important is it that you guys get to host this first round coming off of kind of a tough loss in the Big Ten tournament?
Well, I mean, I do think it's like this time of year, it's important to get off to a good start to try to, impose your will on the game early on. And I think that kind of plays to our style with our transition and our full court pressing. And then it's a great opportunity to play at home. Our fans have been fantastic all year, and I think it really helped us create an incredible environment here, and I'm really hopeful that we'll have a great crowd tomorrow.
Kind of expanding on that question, how much do you look back this week at the JMU game? Because JMU comes in, it's a mid-major, they want to make their mark and they want to try to beat Ohio State. They get off to a really quick start. Is that something that you refer to the team because everybody is pretty much here from last season?
Yeah, that's kind of the benefit of having everybody back. They know that for Maine, they're a well-coached team that is used to winning, like I said, and they're gonna come in and they're gonna lay it all out on the line. I can tell you that right now. They're gonna play a great game, and so we're gonna have to play better, obviously, that's obvious. But we need to be ready to go from the start because they'll be fired up and excited, and as they should be. And so if we're not ready to go from the start, then it could be problematic.
And then also, just what changes for you going into tournament time that you're maybe not doing during the season? How does your coaching change?
I don't think anything. It's like I preach to the players. It's like, all week at practice, it's this practice, it's Maine, and that's it. And I kind of think the same thing is like all I've been focused on is Maine and just helping our kids get prepared for that game. And so just the same stuff, making sure that I'm with the coaching staff and everybody has their responsibilities and they're doing their job and giving me information about Maine so I can do my job. And so it's been pretty much the same.
Kevin, against Maryland, rebounding was a bit of an issue for you guys. You'll have Ebony back in the lineup now. She's had kind of a penchant for coming in and getting those tough rebounds. What impact will it be for you guys having her back in the lineup?
Yeah, no, I just think that, we've probably been at our best when our bench has been good and we've shown to be a deep team. And I think she adds another player who can come in and really help us. And, depending on how how the game goes, sometimes we can play a little bit smaller with her, and I think that can change the game sometimes. So it just gives us another option and different ways to play.
All right. Anything else?
Great.
All right. Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Appreciate it. All right.
And everyone thank you. Thanks, Coach. And just a reminder, the first 15 minutes of Ohio State's practice will be open for photo, video. That starts at 11:30.